This video includes reconstructions of 5 situations on the bridge when errors occurred in navigation. The geographical locations are not important. Similar situations can arise on ships anywhere. The objective is to discuss what went wrong and how it might have been avoided. Useful information can be found in the workbook, which is an essential part of this training package. Own ship A is a VLCC which is partially discharged in Le Havre. The ship is now underway at 14 knots on a course of 338 degrees true to pick up a pilot to take it into the busy port of Southampton, where it will complete the discharge. As well as traffic entering and leaving the Southampton area, ships passing through the English Channel can be expected to cross the ship's route. On the bridge are the British third mate, who joined in Le Havre, the British master, and a lookout. It's 10:24. The wind is light and from the port quarter. There's a tidal stream of just over 1 knot running northeast. Sea state is 3 and the visibility is good.
Is there much traffic about third?
No, sir. Just a coaster on the port bow crossing. CPA is less than half a mile. Do you think we should alter course, sir?
No, but watch out for him, third. He should alter for you. You are the stand-on ship, so stand on. If you've got a power-driven vessel on your starboard bow, crossing and on a steady bearing, you ought to give way ship. So alter course or reduce speed in good time as soon as you've made sure that a risk of collision exists.
Yes, sir.
And then get back on your course line as soon as possible. We've got a tide to catch.
The master is thinking ahead, not only to making the ship's ETA, but also to all the paperwork he has to do before arrival. But he needs to keep an eye on the new third mate. Fortunately, there's little traffic and the weather is good. The third mate switches the ARPA to the 6-mile range and checks the coaster's course.
The coaster still isn't altering, sir.
Coasters are like that. He probably thinks he still has plenty of time. Hello, Captain speaking. Oh, hello, John. Right, I have got all that ready, but I'm on the bridge at the moment. All right, I'll call you back. I'm going below. I've got a few things to do before we berth.
He's altered, sir.
I'm sorry?
The coaster, sir. He's altered course.
Oh, yes. I told you it'd be okay. Give me a call if you have any problems.
Yes, sir.
The third officer has difficulty acquiring the new target on the ARPA he's not familiar with. Checking the bearing of the target, he finds it is constant, but as the ship is not yet visible, he feels he doesn't have to alter course yet.
Look out. The radar says there's a ship about 4 points on the starboard bow. Let me know when you see it.
Yes, sir. You can see that ship now, third mate. It looks like another VLCC.
Thank you.
The third changes the ship's course to 024 true.
Look out. There's another ship on the port bow on the radar.
That ship looks like a fast ferry, sir.
The fast ferry goes behind the VLCC and the ARPA loses the target. The third mate reacquires the target. He now has a problem. He knows he should get back on course to the pilot station. But he is the stand-on ship in the encounter with the ferry and needs to keep his course and speed.
Sir, that ferry is really fast.
It's doing 36 knots. It should alter course for us. But we're the stand-on ship. That was way too close for comfort. But it wasn't my fault. We obeyed the rules. It was the ferry's fault.
The third officer alters course to port.
Oh, hell. It's another one.
With own ship still swinging to port, the two ships are approaching at a speed of 48 knots and are only 6 minutes apart.
Captain, it's the bridge. Please come to the bridge. We have a problem.
This is the end of Case Study 1. We recommend that you look at the workbook and discuss the case. Own ship A is a VLCC, which has completed discharge and is headed for an anchorage in the Thames estuary to await orders. The ship is now underway at 14 knots on a course of 284 gyro to make good a course of 293 true. This will mean crossing the busy separation scheme lanes. On the bridge are the Filipino third mate and the Malaysian master. Next on watch is the Filipino second mate. It's 10:27. There's a tidal stream of 2 knots running 040 true. The wind is from the northeast and there's a heavy swell. There have been weather reports indicating fog is likely.
Not too much traffic and the weather's reasonable, eh, third mate?
Yes, sir. Everything under control. We're now allowing 9 degrees for set and drift and making good our set course.
Are we overtaking that ship ahead?
No, sir. It has been there for a long time. We do about same course and speed.
Keep an eye on it.
Yes, sir. Sir, we have a fast ferry coming up astern. That might be a problem when we want to alter course northwards after crossing the traffic lane. But if we are lucky, it will be past and clear by then.
Well, I'm way below. Call me before the alter course position. You're on your own, third.
Yes, sir.
The third mate learned about ground stabilization and sea stabilization at Nautical College, but finds it confusing. The radar is sea stabilized, so the fishing boat, which is stationary in the water, shows no vector. Any buoys that attract show course and speed through the water. Getting the gain and sea clutter settings right is a problem with ARPAs just as with basic radar. Too much anti-clutter and you miss small targets. Too little and they can't be picked out amid the sea echoes. Things are working out nicely. Everything seems to be under control and relative vectors show that the crossing ship is passing clear. But there seems to be a fog bank ahead.
Bridge here, sir. Sorry to bother you, but the visibility looks as if it's getting worse. Yes, sir.
More fog. I hate it. It always brings on my migraine.
Sorry, sir. Maybe I should not have called him, but I'm sure he won't mind. I will show him what I can do.
Anyway, thanks for calling me early. What is the situation?
There was a fishing boat to port, sir, but it is now well past. The ferry has now overtaken us and is on our starboard bow. There is a crossing vessel in the southwestbound traffic lane, but they will pass well ahead of us and their CPA is well over 1 mile. The visibility is not too bad and we can still see the ship ahead.
Morning, sir. Hello. How's it going? Sea clatter, fog, traffic. I see. You've left all the good stuff on my watch.
The ship ahead has had to take action to avoid the crossing ship. The master of that ship has decided on a large reduction of speed, and it and own ship are rapidly getting closer.
The fog is closing in. I can't see the ship ahead now.
Bye, sir.
I cannot see the ship ahead in all this clatter, sir. I just cannot see that ship, sir.
There it is! At the board!
This is the end of case study 2. We recommend that you look at the workbook and discuss the case. Own ship A is the Agropolis, a container ship that is picking up a pilot for entry to Southampton. The ship is now underway at 14 knots, on a course of 285 degrees true. Traffic can be expected entering and leaving the Southampton area. On the bridge are the Russian master and a helmsman. The Filipino third mate is on deck, meeting the pilot. It's just after 5 o'clock in the morning. High water will be at 0900, so there's a flood tide running in the channel. Sea state is 2 to 3, and the visibility is about 2 miles as day dawns.
Third mate. Third mate. Captain here. Is pilot on board yet?
Third officer, a problem with the ladder, sir, and with getting the pilot launch alongside.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mr. Pilot. This is not very good fuel for us. So very bad for engineer to slow down.
Just my luck to get this one late. Well to the east of the pilot boarding position and down tide. Thank you. Is your deepest draft 9.6 meters, Captain?
Yes.
Okay, we're for berth 206, swinging port side to quay with 2 tugs. Is the bow thruster working, Captain?
Yes. Everything works very well.
We have another large container ship leaving your berth now, which we shall pass off the oil jetties at Fawley. Tugs in 2 hours' time, Captain.
Okay. I get alongside. We have a fog since we go Belgium. I do not leave the bridge. We are steering 285.
Steer 270, please.
The pilot is altering course to port to stem the flood tide before swinging to starboard to make up for the buoyed channel.
Have you been to Southampton before, Captain?
Yes, sir. About 12 hours.
No. Captain, is this the first time you've been to Southampton?
First time. Third mate, bring Mr. Pilot coffee if he won't drink coffee.
Not just now, thank you. VTS Southampton, this is Agropolis, passing inward to the east of the NAB Tower. 9.6 metres from Zeebrugge, up for 206 berth. We should be at the Hook for a Forley pass at 0630 hours and Netley for Tugs at 0700.
This is VTS Southampton. Thank you, Agropolis. The NYK Andromeda is at stations on your berth. We have the Pelican inbound ahead of you, and just ahead of it is an unidentified vessel. The Pride of Portsmouth is the only outbound vessel.
Thank you, Southampton. Full ahead, please.
Full ahead.
Rudder amidships. Starboard 20.
The helmsman does not repeat the command and puts the wheel over the wrong way. The pilot checks the rudder indicator and sees that the helm has been applied the wrong way.
Rudder amidships. Hard a starboard.
You must check. So every my orders carries out correct.
Sorry, sir, I not notice.
Please, will you repeat my orders?
Okay, sir.
Steady on 000.
000.
Although it's a routine voyage, things are starting to go wrong. The pilot has not asked for and has not been given the pilot card. The master had not insisted on a full berth-to-berth voyage plan and has not discussed details of the passage into port with the pilot. The visibility is 2 miles, but is now closing in. There is a small unidentified ship to starboard which has missed the channel entrance and is heading off into the shallows. The third mate is having trouble matching the ships he sees visually with those on the radar.
Half ahead.
Half ahead.
Steer 338.
338.
Visibility is now down to a few hundred meters. The small ship running into shallow water is noticed by the VTS, which tries to contact it.
This is Southampton VTS calling ship 2.1 miles north of the NAB Tower. You are standing into danger. You are approaching shallow water and should adjust your course immediately. This is Southampton VTS calling ship 2.1 miles north of the NAB Tower. I repeat, you are approaching shallow water and should adjust your course immediately.
Which is that ship VTS calls?
I don't know which ship they call. There are plenty of ships about here.
Wheeler port 20.
Port 20.
Каптан. Что? Ты что говоришь? Я же тебе говорил, как это ты не знаешь, насколько этого хватит. Я тебе говорил, что мы должны быть в порту вовремя. Ты что, хочешь, чтобы нас всех тут уволили? Ха. Пробовал поменять баки? Ублюдок, агент. В следующий раз я его встречу, я ему шею переломаю. Делай, что можешь. Мы не можем останавливаться. Авось пронесет.
Ease to 10.
East to 10.
Anything the matter, Captain?
No. No problem, Mr. Pilot. All right.
There are problems with the main engine, but the master is worried that if he tells the pilot, the passage will be aborted and he will lose the berth and fall behind schedule.
Amidships, steer 285.
285.
Full ahead.
Full ahead.
Steer 293.
293.
293. Thank you.
Каптан! Проклятие! Мы попали в беду! Engine failure, Mr. Pilot. Very bad. Need to anchor.
This is the end of Case Study 3. We recommend that you look at the workbook and discuss the case. Own Ship A is a container ship headed for Port Klang via the Singapore Straits. The ship is in the traffic separation scheme bypassing Singapore. It is at half ahead, travelling at 13.4 knots on a course of 245 true. Traffic entering and leaving Singapore will need to be monitored. Currently, the CPA limit is set at 1 mile and the TCPA at 18 minutes. On the bridge are the Filipino second mate and the German master. It's 10:50 on a clear day. The wind is from the south and light.
Stay on this speed, second mate.
Yes, sir.
We will not go full ahead until we are clear of traffic. Don't forget the ship close astern overtaking. You may get small craft crossing, but we are in the traffic lane, so that should keep out of your way.
Yes, sir.
I need to make some calls and do some paperwork, so I will leave you for a while. Call me if you need me.
Yes, sir.
There's not much traffic about, so the master is confident the second mate can deal with any situation that may arise. But the second mate is unsure whether ships in the traffic separation scheme have the right of way. He's determined to carry out the master's order to the letter. The overtaking ship looks as if it will pass quite close, and he worries whether it will keep well clear as it overtakes. By being there, it will restrict what manoeuvres he can make to deal with any other problems. There is a ferry leaving Singapore, clearly visible on the starboard bow, crossing. The second mate remembers what the master had said about the ship being in the traffic separation scheme, and so other ships are likely to keep out of its way. Because of this, although the ferry is on a collision course, he does nothing. At about 2.5 miles off, the ferry turns onto a parallel course heading away from the ship. This confirms the second officer's false impression that ships not in the traffic separation scheme lanes will keep out of the way of ships that are in them. Meantime, the overtaking ship astern has reduced speed. It now seems unlikely to overtake.
Bridge. No problems at all, sir.
"1.5 miles off the port bow, there's a crossing ship on a steady bearing. Realizing that it's going to pass very close, the second mate checks its vectors. But will it keep out of his way? He's not sure. He decides to call it on the VHF to confirm that it intends to keep clear.
Ship on my port bow. Ship on my port bow. Do you read me? Ship on my port bow. Ship on my port bow. Are you receiving me?
all ships, all ships. This is Singapore VTS, Singapore VTS. Please be aware that there is a rogue ship proceeding the wrong way in the Sisters Channel. I say again, all ships, all ships. This is Singapore VTS.
Ship
Singapore
crossing in
VTS.
channel. Ship crossing in channel.
Please
Do you
be
read
aware
me?
that there is a rogue ship proceeding the wrong way in the
Ship
Sisters
on my
Channel.
port bow. Ship on my
You are
port bow.
advised to
Are
take
you
a sharp
receiving me?
route. Singapore VTS, out.
The second mate misses the rogue ship warning. This ship is obscured behind St. John's Island, and so the second mate is unaware of it. When it emerges into view, the second mate sees the rogue ship. It's 2 miles off. Rather than take a compass bearing, he spends time acquiring it on the ARPA. Meanwhile, the ship he was worried about alters course.
Ship on my starboard bow. Ship on my starboard bow. Come in, please. Captain, second officer here. Come to the bridge, please. We have a problem.
The master comes to the bridge and finds his ship has narrowly avoided a collision.
What's going on, second? What happened? I told you to call me if you had problems. You should be able to see when things are starting to go wrong. It's no good leaving it until you're really in trouble.
Sorry, sir. It won't happen again.
This is the end of case study 4. We recommend that you look at the workbook and discuss the case. Own ship A is a VLCC which is discharged in Lyme Bay and is on its way to complete discharge in Rotterdam. The ship is now underway at 12 knots on a course of 090 degrees true to pick up a pilot off Rotterdam. It's going to enter the separation scheme, and traffic can be expected from all directions. On the bridge are the chief officer and the master. Both are American. It's 0727. The wind is light and from the port quarter. The tide is slack at low water and the visibility is good.
I'm sure glad the weather has cleared up. We should have a good run through the strait. And at 12 knots, with the tide where it's at, would be in great time for the pilot.
Not much traffic out this time of day. 1 or 2 outbound in the other lane and a few ahead. Look like French fishermen to me. Could be those guys we saw last time we were through here.
I guess so. I'll see you later on.
Sure thing, sir.
The chief officer alters the course to 122 true to clear 2 of the fishing boats ahead, making good allowance for their nets.
Hi, Carl. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Take a look at the voyage plan, and then I'll talk you through the traffic. Okay, now, your course is 090 degrees true at this time. When you get Bassarella Beam, you need to alter the course 20 to port, okay? Making 070 true, so we can enter the traffic lane on that course. Regarding traffic, I had 2 fishing boats ahead, so I came to starboard to clear them. They seem to be passing clear okay, but you gotta watch out. There may be more around.
Sounds good.
Good luck. Catch you later, Carl.
I'll see you.
To clear the new fishing boats, the third officer alters course a further 20 degrees to starboard. In making sure that the ship clears the fishing boats, the third officer fails to check the heading, which is now 140 degrees. The third officer alters 20 degrees to port to correct for his alteration for the fishing boats. When Bazarel Raycon is due north, the third officer alters course 20 degrees to port for the planned course change. But he still hasn't checked the heading, which is now 100 degrees.
Hi, Carl.
How's it going?
Good. Captain would like me to look at the ARPA. Says some of the switches are non-functional.
John, right now is not a very good time. I need the ARPA right now.
Hard a port! What the hell are you doing, Third? This traffic lane is wide enough for the whole fleet, and you still manage to get us outside of it?
This is the end of Case Study 5. We recommend that you look at the workbook and discuss the case.